Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Downtime with Downstar. I'm here with Daniel Martinez. Daniel, M Life. M Life, dude. You made it.
I know, finally, right?
Dude, it's been so hard to get you out here. Get a little closer to the mic if you. There you go. Look at that. We want to hear your voice, dude.
I know, right?
Look at that.
So
you're so soft spoken. That's why, dude.
you're right. And actually, I was just gonna touch on that. I do need to go ahead and speak up a little more. So the fact that the mic needs to be closer, it's not to be make fun of me, but just to highlight that yes, I am very.
You're
soft-spoken.
such a soft spoken, gentle man, dude. Pause.
Right. For the most part, I kind of just always grew up, just being a little respectful and, just always knowing when to talk or just waiting for my time. But over time, I really have learned that, in order for me to be heard or to just stand out from the crowd, you just got to speak up. And, it was a good thing that I was able to take a few classes, just in speech.
Oh,
So
really?
Yeah, just a little bit. And, kind of like telling you how to, like, not talk so much with your hands. A lot of us tend to talk with our hands or we'll tend to move a lot, So one of the things that they did try to focus was just to ensure that you make good eye contact and then that you're very clear. And, so it's been a little hard to implement that, just especially with me. Very
Nah, dude, like one of the things that did stand out with you is that you're very well spoken, and your point always came off direct and there wasn't any confusion to it at all.
I hope so. Sometimes I feel like my instructions just tend to be a little confusing, especially when over the phone. I think that, but I do prefer conversations than just messages.
For sure. So much gets lost in that. Dude.
It does, and I feel like some messages they either tend to come across the wrong way or just misinterpret it.
Yeah, so it always depends on how the other person is interpreting it.
Absolutely.
If they already feel that there's some sort of tension or animosity, one thing you could say if you don't say it correctly, or I feel that the best way of explaining things is like it's on you to be able to deliver the message you have.
You're absolutely right, because there's so many people that you communicate with that it's very hard to to put everyone in the same be in the same basically character.
For sure.
Everyone's different, not everyone's the same, so you have to learn how to adapt. And for me, I really feel like communicating and just one-on-one, it's always been the best way of getting to either know someone or to get your point across.
For sure. So these classes, where did you take these at?
Oh, Valley College.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Did you go to college?
I did.
For how long?
I went there for a couple years.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I didn't finish. I didn't graduate, but I just you get caught up with life sometimes that it's always it's a sacrifice.
Yeah,
you got to make a choice. Which do you want to go with?
For sure.
And school's not for everyone, and I think we've been hearing that a lot lately.
Yeah, for sure. When I graduated, I tried to go to community college probably like at least 2 or 3 times. Go take a few classes and just like got some more hours at work. So I can't go to class today. And one day you miss turns into 2, turns into 3, and you're like, well, I already missed 3, so might as well not ever go again.
You're right. And like life gets in the way.
Yeah.
How can you stop a moving train? And the thing is it's you either have the mentality and the direction to go in that route, or you can go into the working field.
Yeah.
So
I think at that time I wanted to go to college just because it was the thing, and maybe if we were still back in those days, it would still be the thing.
Absolutely. I'm not going to say school is not, obviously I said school is not for everyone, but you can definitely get a good sense of a direction that you want to head to if you go to school, and obviously you can get more training. Yeah. Or you can also go to a trade tech or something like that. Trade school.
Yeah, I definitely feel it's not for everybody. It wasn't for me.
No.
And I the reason that I did go to school was kind of the reason that I personally feel, from my belief, that a lot of people do. Because graduating high school, bro, it's a lot of pressure, man. You're like, man, you gotta start life.
It is, and it's funny that you say that. as we're in school, I think that's the last thing that's on our mind. You know, we don't think, all right, what am I going to do right after high school? Unless, again, you have that mentality and you're kind of put in that direction. But like when I grew up, I was like, I was just living the moment.
For sure. For sure.
You know, so it's just one of those things where when you live in the time, you do tend to pay the consequence, and that's usually in the form of catching up, you know.
Yeah.
But that's life.
Hey, it is. You know, everybody can navigate it however they see fit.
Absolutely.
You know, and sometimes it works out some ways, and sometimes it doesn't work out.
Oh, yeah.
But I honestly feel, bro, I feel that, like, no matter what situation that you get into, like, there's always a way to come back, you know.
Absolutely. I mean, I feel like as long as you have the drive and the motivation, and in a sense, sometimes you have to dig within that motivation just within yourself. You know, you cannot always expect for someone to, you know, hold your hand and walk you through it the whole step of the way.
Yeah.
You know, and it has proven, I mean, this country is definitely a great country where, you know, anything's possible.
Yeah.
You know, I wasn't born here. So just being able to be in the position that I'm at, and to be able to have achieved the things that I've been able to just, I guess, it's not the material things that I really try to like gravitate to. It's nice to have those things, but I think you just have to have that nice, you know, moral compass and good sense of direction.
For sure.
You know, and, you know, for me, it's like, it's tough to separate those. You know, for me, when people come to me, like, to mod cars, you know, it's like, it could be a good chance for me to sell, but I kind of like to rather than sell right away, I'd rather educate someone, you know, tell them, okay, so what are you trying to do? And
for sure.
What's your end goal?
Yeah.
And then we make that happen without me just trying to like sell, like, you know, A through Z.
For sure.
And it's a downfall because, again, you know, if I did that, then I could possibly have my own shop. I could have the Daniel M Life Garage. But I think that's one of those things where I'll just let, you know, I'll let it just come naturally. I could force it, I can make it happen, but I know, like, it would be me stretching myself more than what I'm already doing. And I feel like right now I need to focus more on building the brand than trying to just build a shop.
Yeah.
I think a shop it'll be good for like a short term, you know, time till my body gets tired or something happens, and I think if I could just focus myself in the brand, you know, just build the Daniel M Life, you know. I don't want to say lifestyle, but, you know, again, you know, I think Eric says it best, you know, you got to pay to play.
Yeah.
So if you're willing to put in the extra time, the extra effort, or the extra sacrifice, then, you know, I think anyone can make anything happen.
Yeah, no, for sure. And that extra time and that extra effort, it has to come from somewhere.
Absolutely.
You know, so sometimes it will come from your character, to come from who you are internally. So it's like, do you really want to make those sacrifices? And do you want to make that sacrifice to your character? You know, because even if people don't find out about it or whatever, like, you know that person didn't need new ball joints or bushings or what have you.
Absolutely.
And you knew that they wouldn't know.
Yeah.
So, you know, and you're going to have to live with that. And some people, they look at that in a certain way where it's like, whatever.
Yeah.
But I can tell you from myself that, like, that stuff really weighs on me, because if I'm that feels like a shortcut, you know. So if I'm taking shortcuts, that means that I'm really not as good as I think that I am. Right. I'm not putting in the work that I really should.
I agree. I really feel like, you know, like, for me, it's not about making a quick buck. It's more about trying to build a relationship. If I can get you to trust me, to come back again and again, then, you know, I'm not just going to do like a quick oil change service. And that's one of the things that I like to tell people. I don't like to just do a quick service. I rather help you put your vision to you know, on from your thought to like making it happen on your car. And that's why for me it just really feels like that's the vision I try to project. Not my vision, but the vision that you're trying to accomplish, and doing it the right way.
Yeah.
You know, it gets really expensive on any kind of builder, you know, whether it's a Honda, a Subaru, you know, to an M, to a Lambo. It's definitely, it adds up. So
yeah, especially if you don't have these conversations with people and you don't know what their end goal is or what their vision is.
Right.
You know, if you help somebody get their vision to reality, that's huge, man.
It is. And like, in more than it's the education, because I can make someone spend money. I can tell you how to spend like 5-10 grand really easily, and you still probably won't get the benefit that you wanted to do, or maybe you're getting more than what you wanted. And one of the things that I've noticed is some people come and, you know, they want more power, but the way I see it is, I'd rather get you the power once you feel comfortable and confident to push the full power on a stock mode without you having the nannies on. And basically, at that point, then, if you can handle that power, then I think you're ready for more power.
What does that mean, the nannies on?
Like dynamic chassis control. You know, if you have to be on like everything on MDM and stuff like that.
Okay.
Then
So the pussy way.
Pretty much, you know. I feel like
I'm just kidding. It's dangerous. Like, if you don't know how to drive it, especially with the rear wheel drive, dude.
Absolutely. And you know, it's funny that you said the rear wheel drive, because I had one of the worst experiences with the G80, and that's an all wheel drive. And unfortunately, given that it was a new platform to me, the X Drive, and the fact that I could switch it to rear wheel drive, when you do that, you can actually control how much traction you get on rear wheel drive.
Oh, okay.
When I put it on rear wheel drive, I thought I had all the traction as a rear wheel drive car. And unfortunately, as soon as I stepped on it, I was already at 40. I kind of just floored it. The car just turned to the right as if I was trying to drift the car.
Oh,
so
wow.
I was like, I had a few cars next to me and the wall. Luckily, I was able to just counter steer the drift in a sense. And man, it was a scary moment, but it was one of those moments that if you don't have the background, the knowledge, or the confidence in the car, you're going to end up hitting a car or the wall.
For sure.
So at that point, it's just one of those things where, again, I like to really emphasize on, if you can handle the power, then let's get you the more power. And that for me, it feels a little bit more responsible.
Yeah.
Because, you know, anyone can go fast. It's just how good are you at that speed. Or
yeah, I think that's the issue with the Mustang guys, you know, and that's why it's become like a meme of them, you know, doing burnouts, or even any of those American muscle cars, dude, doing burnouts and them losing control. It's like, man, if you've never driven a rear wheel drive car with that much power, and you don't know what it feels like when that ass breaks loose, like that's dangerous, man.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's you know, for me, I'll be honest, before I had the M's, you know, I had my moments in the rain and in a rear wheel drive truck. You know, I was kind of merging on the freeway, and I was gonna slide it
on purpose.
Yeah, bro, I ended up like flipping a U-turn. Shit. Luckily, no one was there, and it was the company truck at the time.
Oh shit!
Hey, I don't work for that company.
So anymore. You're like the kids at the takeovers, dude, and the U-Hauls.
I was at the time. But, you know, you kind of learn, you know, that was one of those things that kind of, after that happened, I was like, oh, never again. Yeah. Or I just didn't feel comfortable enough, just because had it been a different situation, it could have been worse. I could have lost my job. I could have hurt someone, or, you know, it's just one of those things that you kind of learn. Once I got the cars, the M's, basically, and I'll say it that way because when you buy the cars, you can get the driver's package, and it'll give you like a free day at the BMW Performance Center.
Okay, got you. So and that's in the Thermal?
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's in
got
Thermal.
You.
So and they have a few other locations, but I know they have one in the East Coast. I think it's in North Carolina.
Oh, okay.
So it's honestly, for me, I think it's a must. For not just for every M driver, but I think every driver needs to go through a course like that, just because, you know, with I think everybody has the ability to hold the steering wheel and step on a brake and accelerator, but no one really knows what to do in certain situations. And I think, in a sense, having the right teachings and education, I feel that our driving instructors or something, it's like there's just not a good, not good to the conditions that we're used to now with the cars, the evolution of cars and speeds. We're so outdated with the way, everybody kind of drives out here.
Yeah, for sure, dude. If you say like 500 horsepower, oh, that's cool. Bro, 500 horsepower is crazy.
It is.
And that's like nothing nowadays, dude.
Oh, yeah. Because, everybody now it's like 1,000. 1,000 seems like the goal.
1,000's the 500, Yeah, so it's like when you have that much power, and then you don't have to have any sort of driving classes or different type of license or anything like that. Like, man, not everybody's built to drive 500 horsepower, dude.
No, not really. And for me, like I said, it took me a few times to go to the course out there, the thermal, to really feel. The cars are capable of doing so much more. It's
for
just
sure.
How much can I keep up to the car's ability?
Yeah.
And that was basically the thing that kind of just made me feel more comfortable, and just more than anything, I guess, love the brand.
I could definitely relate to you on that. My wife Ashley, she worked at Rusnak BMW from when we met. So we met in 2012, and then she stopped working there in 2020. So I didn't get my first M until 2017. So I just wasn't interested in BMWs at all. And finally, she talked me into it, and I got the F82 M4, and bro, I fell in love. And then for that Christmas, she bought me a pass to go to the driving experience in thermal. And it wasn't until I went there that I was like, wow, my car has so much more potential than I've even given it.
Right. We're only able to scratch the surface on the streets, without us getting arrested or perhaps getting into an accident. And I think out there, when you have a close course and you have a professional telling your ear, hey, you're doing this wrong, or
go faster.
Turn off traction control, use the paddle shifters. It's more encouraging, and it's more fun, especially because at the end of the day, you walk out of there and your car's still 100% intact.
And then you just destroyed the other car.
Yeah, exactly.
I was driving I think it was like an X5, dude. And
I love
there was the line where you're supposed to brake at, and I went even past that, dude. Just ripping it, and that car just felt amazing. And how does an SUV feel like this?
It's just meant to. It's telling you push more. The engineering behind these vehicles, is just the reinforcement to the chassis, suspension, the brakes. Honestly, it really gives you the best machine, at your disposal to just kind of toss around. And again, if you have the ability. Man, these cars are so much fun.
For sure.
So, any street can feel like a track day.
Yeah, for sure. Speaking of putting in rear-wheel drive, like the M8, it has it as well, where you can put in rear-wheel drive, and man, that's crazy, bro.
Oh, yeah.
It's just so much power that it just breaks loose, and that car is not as nimble as like the F82. So you feel it, man. That thing's swinging around.
Oh, yeah.
But I would love to take that out to the track one day and see what it really does.
Honest, I've been trying to tell people that let's get together. Let's get a private course, like 10 of us, and then just make it a day. We'll have a lunch truck at Willow.
For sure,
we can make it fun. And then at that point, it would be us really just kind of testing ourselves in the same conditions, without us putting ourselves at risk or others.
If I get better, I might run from the cops.
Hey,
to be honest, dude, I might, bro, because the only thing that's really stopping me besides my family is just like, well, can I really get away?
Yeah. Dude, funny story. I tried doing that once. Never again.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you get away?
No.
Oh,
I got a lesson. He
Oh,
gave me a
shit.
ticket, and then he gave me a lesson.
Oh, shit.
He's all like, don't ever run for the cops. We'll kick your ass.
Oh, shit. So he kicked your ass?
No, because I got out of my car. So I was traveling. I was late to work, and I was going down on Van Noen in Burbank, and there was a motorcycle cop hidden right before Buena Vista. There was like a big truck hidden or parked right there, and they usually hide right behind it. So, dude, I was like late, and this was like almost a long time ago.
Yeah,
it was a long time ago, and I was doing like over 60 on a 35, and dude, like he caught me, and when he saw me and I saw him, I was like, fuck. So I went ahead and I stepped on it some more, and I got to the light. I made a right turn. Then I got to the next street, and then I made another right turn, and then I made a quick left, and then I parked, got out of the car. Bro, he was on me like within 5 seconds. You tried to do the
Toretto? You put the jacket on?
Daniel, I forgot.
Daniel, I'm live. Is that you, Daniel? I'm live.
That's what gave me away, bro.
Oh, shit.
So legit, he's like, hey, hey, don't ever do that. Like, if you ever do that, you're going to have a whole squad of cars here. You're going to have everybody upset at you because you're hiding something, and then you're going to get your ass whooped.
Oh, damn.
So, yeah, that was one of the times I tried doing it, and obviously I wasn't fast enough.
What car were you in?
I was in my EG6.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, and so I had a little EG at the time.
Okay.
Yeah, I had a little B16
man.
swap in there, so... Bro, I thought I was quick.
Would you have Toquico Blues and Skunk Two Sleeves or what?
Yeah,
what suspension?
So at the time, I had just finished the swap, and my buddy Manny had helped me do the swap, and we did what suspension did I have? Because I had some replica Rotas.
Oh, okay.
And was it the Skunk Twos? It wasn't like a really like good suspension. It was just something that I was just kind of putting together at the time.
Okay, got you.
I'm trying to think if I even did the suspension on that one or if it came with the car. But we basically we modded that little thing. It was a beautiful EG6 SI. This thing had like all the VIN numbers on the windows. On all the windows, wow. You know how they had it etched in back in the days? Dude, that thing was a gem.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but like my son, when he was 2 years old, and we were commuting like from where I would pick him up, and then we would go home. Dude, it was awesome. It was a great time.
Man, the other day I tried to take Frankie in the right hand drive, EG6, and the seatbelts didn't lock in the back. So I couldn't put the car seat in there. I didn't feel comfortable with it.
Yeah.
I was like, man, it would be cool to take her for a drive in it.
It would, honestly. Like, honestly, that just kind of brought back some memories, just kind of, it was tough at that time, so just those memories are the ones that kind of tend to, like, stay with you. And that EG, honestly, we went through a lot, putting it together and just the history with it.
Yeah.
So it was fun.
For sure, dude. I mean, I have so much history in the Honda stuff.
Oh yeah.
And that's taught me so much about it's taught me so much about life,
I think in a sense, there's a correlation. When you build a car, it's kind of like building yourself.
For sure.
Obviously there's a sense that of how much of yourself you put into something, and I think that's always been the thing with me. I'm always so like heavily invested. I always sorry.
Go ahead, bro. I get it, man. You're right, dude. Like sometimes I'll look at these cars and the right hand drive. I'll sit in it, bro. I'll sit in the right hand drive and I'll think like, man, I've lived so much in this car.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing about it. Like, it just brought so many great memories. Just because my son was a little kid, and I think that was one of the times that we spent a lot of time together. And you kind of just wish back that you could go back to those times,
For sure.
And now he's 14. He's in high school, so
he's a man. He's living his life. I get you, bro. I still look back at that too. Like when Christian was younger, that was when I was in the middle of my hustle. Yeah. In the middle of my hustle, building the brand. And like it really does bum me out to look back at those times and think like, man, I should have done more. I could have done more.
Yeah.
I should have realized what these moments meant.
You're right. And I think honestly right now just it just brought back so many memories. It really kind of just made me realize how much I've put into it, how much I've had to sacrifice. And I mean by sacrifice because I also see it like I've been able to accomplish so much as well in that time since he was a little kid. But I also missed out on a lot.
Yeah.
You know, just there's always a trade-off. There's always a give and take. You know, unfortunately, I'm not the one that can have my cake and eat it too.
For sure.
Know? So there's always been a nice trade-off. But again, I don't mind it just because I feel like sometimes it's like I'm telling you, like when even though I put someone's vision into reality, it feels like in a sense it's like I'm putting that person's, you know, part of them and part of me into it. So that's why I feel like whenever I work on one of these cars, it's kind of like I'm not gonna say it's relaxing. It's kind of like euphoric. I love to take things apart, you know, and I guess that's why, you know, school's not for everyone. I've always been like a hands-on kind of person. You know, I've always liked to just, you know, see what I can build. And even though I'm not like I'm not college oriented or school oriented, I feel like I can manage myself, you know, in both aspects. So
for sure. I mean, that whole aspect of being able to say like, oh, I have a degree, so I'm at this certain level, I'm this type of person, like that whole like they say, the veil's been lifted up. You see what it is now, and that doesn't determine that you're winning at life. Which, on the other side, if you didn't go to college, that doesn't mean that you're failing at life.
You know, I felt the same way, and you know, sometimes I felt like yeah, just because you went to school, but at the same time, you know, they did have to put in the time, the effort.
For sure.
So, I think like everything, that sometimes for me it's hard. Well, it was harder back then to kind of just not speak on my emotions. Now, in a sense, I've kind of just learned over time just to take a second, analyze, and then make a comment. Because I felt like, you know, again, I feel like every day I'm just learning, or I'm trying to make myself better.
Yeah.
Because I'll still make mistakes, you know, I'll still do something wrong. And therefore, I feel like there's always a way to just maybe perhaps improve a little bit. You know, I don't have to like do a whole 360 in one day, but
yeah.
If I can just acknowledge a few things on myself and, you know, make that change, then that's all I can do.
You know, and then I feel like that's the best thing about growing up, maturing, and even being a parent, you know, because there was things that I did when I was younger, when I was a younger parent, that like I wouldn't do now. And maybe that my son didn't get the best version of me when I was younger. He's going to get the best version of me from now on, you know. And if I didn't go through these kind of changes that I put myself through, having to look within and have accountability, then who knows? I would probably still be out, you know, out at these shows and not worried about family life or anything. And now my daughter, Frankie, she's even getting the best, you know, and then my wife too is like, she was a young mom, and it's hard, bro. So we literally had to all grow together. We all had to mature together. And the good thing is that it happened relatively at a young age. So now we have the rest of our life, and I could give the advice to my son from the mistakes that I made. And I realized that those were mistakes early enough in my life where hopefully it can impact him, because when I was his age, bro, nobody was having like real conversations with me.
You're absolutely right. And, you know, like there really isn't, you know, and sometimes when there is, sometimes we don't want to hear it, you know, and it's just one of those things where we have to kind of just take the what we learn and just try to make it better, because you're right. I'm not gonna try and raise my kids the same way I was raised. I definitely want them to understand the reasons behind it. But you know, this generation is definitely not like our generation. You know, every generation has a different iOS, as I like to,
for sure,
you know, call it. It's a different type of programming, and you know, like right now is where I feel like if I can just, he's also at the right age where I can also maybe perhaps get him a little bit more interested in what I'm doing right now. So I think it's more about quality, like you said. If we could be at the shows every weekend and miss out on these moments, but now I think as we mature, we start realizing what's more important.
Yeah,
and you have to be more selective with your time and the people that you share your time with.
For sure.
You know, so.
Yeah, I do look at it like the things that I want to do with my time. Those are, even though it is my time and I can do whatever I want with it, I really have to like look at it like a dessert. You know, I can't have dessert all the time, even though I can if I wanted to.
Right.
I'm going to end up paying for it somehow, whether it's I'm going to lose in my family dynamic or work is going to be affected or what have you, you know? And I think that's something that we have to come to terms with is, like you said, you can't have your cake and eat it too.
It's funny, and I only laughed because a few months back, I was being a dumbass. I was so busy. And, you know, every morning I would just wake up, and I would wake up hungry. And instead of having a meal, I would have a cookie as a snack. Shit. You know, and I did that for a while. And it caught up to me, you know, like I just felt my body crash.
Yeah.
My body was just so overly dependent on the sugar that when it didn't get it anymore, I just felt this big drop in energy.
For sure.
And it's just, again, you're right. You have to learn how to just be moderate with everything, and life is just about moderation.
Yeah,
you know, we all want everything, but we gotta leave some for everybody else, you know.
For sure. No, and then you think about it, it's like when I was a kid, what would I want for dinner every night? Like pizza. You know, I would want to have pizza every night.
Oh, dude.
But now I'm an adult and I could literally have pizza every night, but I have to know when I can have pizza and when I can't have pizza.
You're right. You know, like like I said, I was born in Mexico. My parents are from Mexico. They're from Veracruz. And, you know, when we came here, you know, I came as an illegal. And we grew up poor. You know, we didn't have much. And what we did have, you know, my mom always made at home. And, you know, so it was always like, you know, we always ate in. And whenever we ate out was like a special occasion or something. And now you're right. It's like every day, oh, we'll eat out, you know. But you miss that in a sense, it's discipline.
Yeah, for
you know,
sure.
Because not only were you disciplined to be at home at a certain time and get everything done, so that way you can spend family time, and then, you know, rest and then do the thing all over again. Now it's like everyone does their own thing. You know, we're all like on different schedules, It's like different universes in a sense.
Yeah, right? Everybody's living their own universe.
Yeah.
And you hope that like your planets are close enough where you're seeing what you're in the same rotation, you know, but it is true.
It is.
Like it's like right now, like my wife and my daughter, they're doing their thing. My son's doing his thing and I'm doing my thing. And the more we all do our own thing, the further we are away from like the sun. You know, the sun is what's bringing us all together.
Yeah.
And you have to check yourself on those things because naturally everybody does get busy. And you know, my son Christian has his own life, dude. He has his friends. He's playing soccer, club soccer. He's skateboarding. Wow. He's doing his own thing. You know, my daughter's doing her own thing. Ash is doing her own thing, and so am I. And but we all have to consciously remember that, like, yeah, but we all need to spend time together as well, and not for an obligation, but this is what really matters. Right. This is what we're gonna remember.
Absolutely. And I feel like, you know, like even then, you know, I still had that moment where, you know, we kind of just sat at the table and, you know, just shared those moments. To where now it's, you know, it's more like, hey, you want to join the table? Then I'm eating in
no,
my room.
Yeah, I'm gonna play games or whatever. Yeah, which is a shame when you look at it. And there's a lot of things when I was younger that I miss those times.
I do too.
But the reason we were in those times is because we were unfortunate. You know, like we didn't have as much.
Absolutely. I mean, like you said, you know, like when we were growing up, we didn't have these supercomputers that are in the palm of our hands, you know, where we can just access the rest of the world. You know, we kind of just had to create our own world.
Yeah.
So it just kind of, it's evolution of times, and you know, it just kind of goes with I guess evolving and learning how to do things differently. Because like I was telling you, I can't really raise my kid the same way that my parents were raised. Now it's like, he'll be like, nah, my homies are doing this, or nah, you're tripping, old man.
He's an old man. What are you talking about? No, I feel you. So when did you make your way to the States? At what age?
I was 6 years old.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So my parents brought my sister and myself. We kind of just, we were living in Mexico City at the time. My mom was taking care of us out there. You know, like, true story, it was, you know, we lived out there during the earthquake in Mexico. And my mom had like a store where she would sell fruit and food, sandwiches and smoothies, and she would always wake up every morning to go pick up, you know, like the vegetables and all this stuff. And that day that the earthquake happened, she overslept. And thank God for that, because otherwise she would have been like in a subway or in one of those buildings that, you know, unfortunately had collapsed.
Oh my God.
Wow. So I mean, we lived there in the city during that year, and my dad came out here first. He came out here. He worked in the fields, and you know, he pretty much got his immigration. He got his residency through that, and then he brought us aboard. But obviously, when he brought us, he didn't bring us, you know, the legal way until, you know, we kind of just, you know, got a little bit older. Then he applied for us. But man, you know, my life could have been a lot different. You know, there was also a time where, when I was a kid, I got lost because my parents they sold at a supermarket, like one of these like farmers markets kind of deal. You know, they have like a little, it's kind of like a tianguis or something out there in Mexico, where they have like all vendors and stuff, and they would sell like stuff out there, like anything from soap for washing clothes to vegetables, anything, you know. And my dad, he played soccer a lot. He took my sister to a soccer match, and actually no, he left my sister and myself with my mom, and he left. And my mom got so overwhelmed, and I went ahead and I started wandering around. Long story short, when my dad came, they're like, "Where's Daniel?" They couldn't find me. They started freaking out, and one of my uncles found me right about to board a bus with this older lady. So like, dude, I know, like I could have like not even been here at all.
Who was the lady?
Nobody knew. So they didn't know if I just kind of wandered off, and I was crying as this lady was taking me aboard. And then my uncle's like, "Hey lady, you can't take this kid, he's not yours." He's like, he's mine
Oh shit.
Yeah, bro. Like honestly, I've gone through some stuff, you know, kind of just growing up to where like, you know, I feel like destiny has a certain, you know, fate for you in store.
Yeah.
So it's been fun, it's been scary, it's been trippy, it's been everything, man. And then, you know, like I said, just kind of even coming to the U.S. as a kid, you know, just kind of, we came the illegal way. We came through what was it, the mountains.
Do you like remember that?
Oh yeah, bro.
Really?
Yeah. It's just it's sometimes it's these moments that really kind of just, you know, shape your life. I mean, for me, it's like one of those things that I can't forget. I mean, it just feels like if it was even yesterday, when I was just kind of, you know, running through the hills, hiding in the bushes. And I mean, even I think what makes it more memorable for me was the fact that as I was running, I lost my shoe. So like I like legit just was running through the fields and hopped on the car, made it out to our safe home, and for a whole week I didn't have a shoe. And my sister would go out and play, and see, that's why it kind of stands out more, because I felt like if I was a prisoner without a shoe.
Oh, wow, dude. So you're just running and
like, oh yeah, bro. Honestly, just I'm laughing at it, but at the time, you know, being a kid, and you know, obviously you're doing something illegal, and you know you're doing something illegal. It kind of just, I mean, it's either you want to remember, or you just block it out of your mind. I think for me, it's just one of those things that I can't forget. You know, it just kind of stays with you.
That's crazy, dude. How long did that journey take?
So the journey itself was like half a day. So we kind of left the hotel where we were staying at like around noon.
So that would be on the Mexico side? Okay. We're like in TJ? Okay.
Yeah. So we were like in TJ in a hotel, and then we kind of just waited to, you know, just wait for the perfect time to just get across, I guess. And dude, it was like within half a day we were already like in San Diego.
Okay.
But I think times were different back then than they are right now. I mean, this was back like in 1988.
Oh, so you had less technology and...
Oh yeah. So it was different, you know. It wasn't like it is right now. I think right now you hear more like scarier stories about people just coming over. But back then, honestly, it was just it was chasing the dream. You know, my dad, when he made the decision to go out to pick us up and bring us, it was to bring us to a better way of life. You know, so it wasn't to do something nefarious or anything like that. It was just, honestly, he felt like that this was the best place where he could give us more, because my parents were always hard workers. You know, they always worked very hard, and it wasn't the work, it was what you can make out there to like what you can make here. So that was the biggest drive to kind of just move over to the US. And like I said, there was obviously a lot of like, you know, like moments where maybe it wasn't my destiny, but at the end of the day, it really kind of was meant to be.
Yeah.
So,
wow, dude, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So when you got into the U.S., where did you guys stay at?
So when we came in, my dad and his brother, they had an apartment together. So we lived by downtown.
Oh, okay.
So we lived out there. Honestly, I lived around the downtown LA area up until when I graduated high school. After high school, I moved out to the Valley. But for the most part, I lived out by the Pico Union area, kind of around that area. So I went to Hoover Street Elementary, which is on Hoover and 8th Street. And then from there, I graduated to Brendel Middle School. From there, my sister she's a year older than me. Instead of opting to go to LA High or Belmont, which were our home schools, we opted out to come out to the Valley to Grant High School. So after she graduated, I was right behind her 1 year, so I wanted to follow where she went. It was a lot easier, and honestly, I was never really gravitated to I guess what everybody else was at the time. I just kind of wanted to focus, and in a sense, kind of just wanted to change the scenery. And honestly, for me, I feel like it was one of the best moves, because I felt in love with not the school, and the people in the Valley are different than the people in LA. And I just felt like even the Valley just felt more like a home kind of, you know, like scene.
For sure.
More than like downtown. It felt like so much chaos, you know. Sure. So I kind of identified more myself with that part. So it was a good transition. But dude, growing up was tough, you know. Just my parents, like I said, they worked very hard. My dad had 2 to 3 jobs at one time, you know, just trying to get us to have our own place, because, you know, obviously you come from, you know, a certain place where you have your degree, your knowledge, your everything, and then you come to a new world where those degrees and everything don't mean anything sometimes, and you got to start all over again. So it was always just one of those things where, I was just always trying to provide for us. And honestly, I think that's kind of like one of the things that stays with me the most is just their hard work, all their sacrifice. You see how much, goes into trying to make it work. It's just not the financial part. I think it's just as a family, as a unit, it tends to take a toll on like the way you see things. And sometimes for me, honestly, it took me a while to mature and to acknowledge some of the things I needed to change about myself. I think, part of me forgot my struggles and all that growing up, and I took everything for granted, and I felt like, I was just born here. Like, if I was born here, and at that point, if you don't have the right, like financial set in place, then, you're going to find yourself struggling, and I definitely found myself making the decisions that kind of hindered my growth. At that point, honestly, it's just one of those things. Like, are you gonna just give up, let it just take its toll, or are you just gonna make a change?
Yeah. You look back at those times, and does it make you feel bad that like you kind of took what your parents were providing and the hard work and the things that they went through like for granted?
Oh, absolutely. Our parents always try to tell us. Like if they're good parents, they'll try to tell you, hey, this is not good for you, from out of their own experiences, or if they don't care, they won't tell you anything.
Yeah.
So they would tell me, hey, this is not a good company for you, or this is, what are you doing? And I wouldn't side with them. I would be like, no, you guys don't know anything, in my head, because I couldn't talk to my dad that way. But it was just kind of like, now you see like everything that they really told you was because they knew. And it's some of the same words that I find myself telling my son, hey, dude, it's because I know. And one of the things that I try to do with that is I try to put myself in like, try to tell him my stories and what I really went through. Because what it does right now, like just kind of talking about these things, it in a sense, it kind of makes me realize that I've, in a sense, diverted from some of those things that I should be focusing on. And, sometimes we just get caught up in the moment and we're just living like rock stars. You know? And even though I'm not at that level yet.
You're Daniel M. Life, bro. You are a rock star, dude. I feel you though, dude. And it's always good to have conversations like this, or just to reflect and just reevaluate.
It is
because sometimes you do get caught up in your own world, in your own life, and everything that's going on, and this is just how life is. So it's just like, let's just keep going, let's just keep rocking. But then you're not realizing the signs because you're not even looking for them. Like,
Absolutely.
Man, when's the last time that I went to dinner with my wife? Or, man, when's the last time that I went skateboarding with my son? Or, when's the last time I took my daughter to the park?
Yeah.
But then I'm over here going to these meets or doing these builds or what have you, And it's just like, I'm not super happy with myself, And not, it's just those conversations that you have to have, the honest conversations you have to have with yourself.
Absolutely.
And you have to see, am I living up to the goal of what I want my legacy to be? Am I being the best in all aspects that I want to be? And sometimes you just got to reel it back in.
You're right. And I think right now this is serving me as a good, like, all right, dude, just dial it back a notch, and then just refocus on what's really important. And I'll do that almost every day, like not on every aspect of my life, but on certain things that I feel that, maybe perhaps I was just, too quick to say something, or maybe I didn't say something quick enough, or, just maybe I should have just said something to, just one of the biggest things that I guess for me is just knowing my own value. Yes. I mean, when I do something, I try to do it at I'm not gonna say it to the best of my abilities, because I try to definitely do that every single time, but I try to put myself 100% of myself into what I'm doing. Otherwise, it's kind of like what I tell my son. Sometimes you have to love or like what you do, because if not, then it's just gonna be just like any other thing.
Yeah.
And right now, I feel like it's definitely a good thing to just be able to acknowledge, where I could have done something better, or how I can improve, or again, just trying to get that edge, to be better. Otherwise, like I said, it's just, there's no point. I might as well just kind of just let everything else be.
Yeah, and on that same thought, you gotta congratulate yourself for what you have done and where you have accomplished and where you've come from. Because you got to take care of yourself at the end of the day, because if you're not taking care of yourself, you don't even have the ability to take care of anybody else.
100%.
And you got to be your biggest fan, and you got to see, like, man, I've come up. Like,
you're 100% right. I mean, I'll be honest. I've been a little teary, but that's just because it's like you open up, something very sacred to you. And I actually had a therapist. I went to talk to a therapist for almost 5 years, like on a weekly basis. And my tears weren't like tears of sadness or anything. It's just kind of like tears of like, they're kind of therapeutic. You just kind of feel like sometimes you got to leave some of this baggage behind. And in a sense, it's amazing to be able to see where you go. And sometimes you're right. You have to be able to, be grateful and acknowledge your accomplishments. Otherwise, everyone else is going to tell you what you didn't accomplish, right? And that's all you're going to be hearing.
Yeah, no, for sure. You got to be able to drown that stuff out. And, and you're never as good as you think you are, and you're never as bad as you think you are.
Absolutely.
And you just gotta pat yourself on the back sometimes. And I, with me even saying that, it's a lot of the time that I have to do that to myself, because I'm caught up in this life that I'm in, and it's just moving so fast. And you think that, like, man, every year is just flying by, and it's going faster and faster. But then you think about it, like, bro, when did we go to Impact in Florida? Like March?
Yeah.
How does that seem like a few years ago? It doesn't seem like March.
No.
So I'm squeezing so much stuff into a year that I'm not even really presently thinking about, like, man, we've done a lot of stuff.
You're right. I mean, we're almost at the end of the year. We're just a few months away. And it feels like we just finished Beamer Invasion, CSF, Impact, Orlando Beamer Invasion, and then all the other shows. It really has, it feels like time goes by a lot quicker.
Yeah.
We definitely need to take more advantage and be more selective with time. I think that's one of the main reasons why, just knowing the right balance of, like, making sure that where you're putting your eggs, it's going to be like a good investment. Otherwise, just you miss out. You miss out on so much. You can miss out on in like your personal life, or you can miss out on, the car scene, or like everything else.
This car scene moves fast, bro.
It does.
Kind of off topic, like, I wonder if people that don't do a lot of things with their time, if time feels like it goes by slow. Imagine if there's somebody that's just working a 9 to 5 that they don't like, and they really don't do much. Like, I wonder if time feels slow to them.
I would
think so, right?
You would have to. I mean, I worked also in the restaurant industry. I was a server. And sometimes you would just look at the clock when there was no customers. You'd be like, damn, when's my next table coming in?
Yeah.
So definitely, you have to keep keep yourself busy. Otherwise, like, I think for me, I tend to go crazy with ideas, like just go up in the air.
Yeah.
So I have to really kind of keep myself, just always busy on the go or something. And I think it's also on my personality. I'm always just so quick, or just to do something or be on the go, be on the move.
Yeah.
Unless I'm watching a movie, I really won't like be chilling. Sometimes when I'm in the garage and I have some people over, I'll be sitting down and then I'll just get up and I'll start cleaning up.
Damn.
Just because I gotta do. I feel like if I have to do something, I'm not one of those like bodies that.
I wonder what that is, dude. Because I feel the same way.
Yeah.
And my wife tells me, she's like, you just need to chill. You know? And I'm like, I don't feel right when I'm just chilling.
Yeah.
Even if we're all just chilling, I'll just chill right here and like, clean up or something, or I don't know. I don't know what it is, dude.
No, I don't know either. Funny thing is, honestly, for me, I think I have some ADHD. So I feel like with that, you get that extra energy.
Yeah.
And, you just got to keep yourself busy because, again, I feel like ADHD is something that is a good thing. It could be a bad thing. It could be a good thing if you're trying to accomplish a lot, because then you have a lot of high energy and, you'll be able to get a lot more accomplished. But at the same time, if you let the negative part of ADHD kind of just get to you, then that's going to hinder you.
What if you're ADHD gangbanger?
Damn,
bro. You're just doing mad drive.
Super
Dude,
G.
we already did 3 drive-bys a day. I don't care. Let's go. We still got bullets. Let's go. Let's keep going.
Yeah.
So that's how you move up in the ranks, dude.
That's how you do it, bro. That's how you do it.
No, you're right, though, dude, is that I think what it is that I recognize that what I can do in a certain amount of time, and when I don't do something, I feel like I'm wasting time, which that's one thing that I do not ever want to do, is waste time, especially in my older age, is because I recognize that, time isn't here forever.
Absolutely.
And something can always happen, or what have you, like not even something bad where it's, you just look at the worst situation that can happen, which is totally true. It can always happen. But also, like, man, if I would have started podcasting a couple years before, I would be further along in my career or what have you.
You're absolutely right. I think we are our own worst enemies at times. If we postpone a project or something, it just adds up and it builds up, and then before you know it, you got a few projects to edit or a few cars to work on or papers to turn in. It really adds up, and I was really bad at just being a self-initiative. I was never one to, do it on my own. And it's one of the things I kind of catch myself, I guess if we really put more than 10% of our brain to use, we would get a lot more done as humans. And I think that's something that would apply to me, is if I were to do more with my time, I could do more, but unfortunately, you're right. It's just, we have to just dig deep down inside and just find that inner energy to just kick yourself in the ass and get moving again.
Yeah. And when you can't find it, just OD on coffee.
There it is, man.
Would you ever get the Neuralink?
Ooh. All right. So I'm pretty scared of technology in that sense. Like, I feel like at that point we would become a host to something that could potentially we could possibly not have control over. I think it kind of goes back to some of the movies I've seen, like where people have like a watch, and if about time, if they don't have enough credits for time, they die.
I've never seen that movie. That's with Justin Timberlake, isn't it?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, so there's definitely that kind of thought, and for me, honestly, I've always been very scared of even just Western medicine. I'm not a big medicine kind of person. I'll try some like natural
leaves
remedies
or something.
Yeah, I'll try
onions,
some leaves.
Put an onion under your underarm or something like that.
Manzanilla,
Put an onion in your sock, bro. So good.
Yeah, no.
What the fuck is this garlic doing in here?
Hey,
God damn it. We need more garlic. We're not even cooking. I don't feel good. No, you're right, dude. You're right. Because what did people do before then? Did they just, I don't know. Maybe they just died.
You know, hey, man.
25.
All right. Maybe I need another 25 more. No, bro. Like, honestly, I feel like for me, it's just one of those things where I gotta just let nature do its thing. I mean, I'm not gonna go ahead and, you know, like do the same thing I was doing, which eat cookies, you know, in the morning for breakfast, and then put out like a massive amount of work on physical labor with the cars. You know, it's just it's not a good balance.
For sure. If you're conscious of it, I think that's like step one.
Oh, absolutely.
Just to be conscious of things that you're putting in your body.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, honestly, everything that you're intaking, information that you're intaking, the things that you're listening to, the food, like everything, you have to evaluate all that stuff and say, what am I putting inside of me? You know, and it's whether you have people in your life that are bringing negativity, or you're eating this processed food, or you're drinking soda all the time. You have to think about, like, man, I need to take a step back. And that doesn't mean to just cut all that stuff out, but it's like an alcoholic, bro. You got to recognize the issue at first to make a change.
You're absolutely right. I was never big into finding out about foods. I would just think food was just food. Didn't think of GMOs. Never did my research on it. Never thought about like what lectins were. Never, you know, I was processed sugars. Well, fuck it, give me some more, you know.
Yeah.
And you know, like as my son was born, and you know, like as I started to see things, I wanted to change. And unless you're willing to put in the time to do the research, honestly, in the back of whatever you're drinking or eating, they're not going to tell you, hey, this is not good for you. It's processed sugars. You know, it's just one of those things where you have to be willing to see, you know, more than what's presented to you, you know. And I feel like for me, it's always been that way. In everything that I've tried to do, I even sold life insurance. I was going to be a securities broker. I got my license, but it was always one of those things where I needed to make sure that what I was going to sell or I was going to put my name on was going to be something that I myself would be consuming or using, you know. And in a sense, that kind of mentality is good and bad, because it's good if you're driven and by sales and financial gains, but it's not good if you're kind of driven by, I want to do right by the world.
Yeah. But then that right and wrong is just on somebody's opinion as Absolutely. Well. You know, there's certain things that probably I'm doing that other people that are more successful are doing that they're just like, yeah, you're not doing right. Like, why are you're only focusing on these cars? Why don't you do these cars or that? You know? And then I look at them and I'm like, well, your kids hate you, so.
Yeah, and you know that's right. You know, certain things work for certain people. And it's not always, you know, what works for me is not always going to work for you. So I think there's also that misconception, you know, and I've learned that along the way. You know, I feel like sometimes when I'm driving, I'm like, why doesn't this idiot move out of the way? Why does he block me? Doesn't he see me rolling by?
Yeah.
But it's just one of those things where I cannot project my own thoughts and whatnots on someone else. And that's why I think with therapy, what that really did for me was just really change my whole perspective. You know, like sometimes I'll talk shit, you know, I'll talk shit on the road, but you know, I don't talk shit because I guess I just talk shit because that's what my dad used to do.
Yeah.
But you know, like nevertheless, again, in that's why I try not to be the same way as my dad with my kid as far as punishments or trying to tell him certain things, because I don't want to project thoughts that I thought were okay to him, to my son, and make it seem like, hey, I want you to grow up and do the same things. And that really kind of taught me to have more control over my thoughts and myself. You know, sometimes we let our thoughts just go crazy, and again, that kind of comes with the fact that, like I said, I think I have ADHD. I need to keep myself just busy, so that way, again, I could just not function better, but be more productive in a sense. So I could do so much if I have my days lined up, as opposed to just kind of running around in circles like a madman.
For sure.
So I feel like in the sense that that's kind of like what I try to just, learn from every day. And
I think everybody's trying to figure it out, bro.
Oh yeah.
Everyone is. Even people that we think have it figured out.
Yeah.
They're, who knows what their life is really like. And we wouldn't know unless they're completely honest with us and honest with themselves.
Absolutely. Again, and I try not to project myself on others, because we all go through different situations.
Yeah.
Not everybody lost their shoe crossing the border.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So, it's just one of those things where, again, it puts a lot into perspective, and you're able to just kind of, I guess, I try to pick up some of the good stuff, on a daily, but hey, I'm human. I'm going to make mistakes. So,
yeah. Just learning from it, dude.
Absolutely.
So, bro, let's get into BMWs, dude. How'd you get into BMWs, and how'd you become Daniel M. Life?
So I've always been into cars. I was always like big on trying to help out my dad wrench, and just kind of seeing him wrench on his Camaro, on his Fremont, on his Fairlane.
So he was a car guy too?
Yeah, he was, and usually it was just trying to fix the cars that we owned at the time, and my dad left the farm thing shortly after we came here to the U.S. Gotcha. And he started working at in another business, like in the garment in downtown LA, the garment district. He worked out there with my mom, and then after that he started focusing on mechanics. So he ended up working at U-Haul. He did most of the work on the diesels and all that stuff. And even when he came here, he was very gravitated to working. His buddy was a mechanic at the farm, and he would always just try to do that. And I guess I just kind of followed into like what my dad liked at the time, because we had no iPads or anything, no YouTube, none of that stuff. So cars was just fun, just being able to work with tools, it was fun. So I did that. I learned how to drive when I was 14 because of that, because I was always just with him, just by his side, trying to, do guy stuff, and that was one of the things where I think that's where the love of working on cars began. Shortly after, I started to drive, my dad helped me buy my Integra. So I had a 91 Integra, and this was back in 1997. So I felt like the shit, I was like,
yeah,
and sure. We did some wrenching. I went to Grant High School, and right there, there was a teacher assistant named Hans and his brother Frank, and Hans had this amazing CRX. He had done a swap, and he had done it through Jerry Built.
Oh, okay.
And honestly, dude, I would see that car, I was 16 years old, and then, I got gravitated more to the car scene at that point. Not only did I have an Integra, I had something that I could potentially turn to something like that. And, that's how the love began, just the love of the cars began there. I was hanging out at Jerry's. I lived in downtown, and he lived maybe 20 minutes away from me. It wasn't too far, so it kind of worked out. After school, instead of going home, I would go to Jerry's house.
Oh wow!
So we go chill. I met both. It was Jerry and Jerry. It's J and J. And dude, it was awesome. I mean, just being around the car scene and people, cars, something happens, For sure. Especially for me, it just really kind of hit a nerve or a spot. And it just kind of, at that point, I fell in love with the car scene. I was modding my cars. It didn't last long. Unfortunately I lost my license when I was right as I turned 18. I did a stupid mistake of going to the beer and doing something that I wasn't supposed to. And I lost my license. My license got revoked, suspended. But that didn't stop me. I had my Integra, and unfortunately, it wasn't a good end. I got pulled over like 7 times. Every single time I got pulled over, my car got impounded for 30 days.
Oh, wow.
So I would be left stranded, no car. My car would be impounded, and then I would pay like $1,000 to get it out of the impound, and then I still had to deal with the ticket. At the time, I wasn't too big on obeying the law, so I didn't show up to my tickets. So I accumulated a few, like no shows or no appearances, failure to appears. So I had a bench warrant, and yeah, dude, like I'm telling you, I ended up going to jail because of that. I had to serve some time because my money was so invested. I was already working. I was making good money, but my money would always go like 1 month I would have my car, and then the next month it would be at the impound. 1 month I had it. Shit. So, bro, like it got expensive, and every single time it was just kind of, my parents kind of knew and they didn't. They weren't dumb, but, they kind of just let me do my thing. And again, it kind of just goes back to they try to teach you early.
Yeah.
But so again, just I had the love, and it was kind of taken away from me because the last time I couldn't pay the fee, so much had added up. So I ended up losing my car.
So they kept the car?
So they kept the car.
Oh, wow.
So they auctioned it. I had some wheels, everything. It hurt. But it's like those kind of hurts that you have to kind of go through to really hit home.
Yeah.
Because then I realized, fuck, I fucked up big when I got busted. And again, it wasn't, had I been around the right crowd or the right people that had a different type of mentality, maybe that wouldn't have happened.
Mm-hmm.
But tomato, we're here today.
Yeah, for sure.
And, just from there, like I said, just the whole car thing was just so there. For the next few years, I'll be honest, there was really hardly any cars. I did have a 2006 Honda Civic Si, which I totaled. Mm-hmm. And again, just I wasn't able to put my vision to work because I was so busy trying to clean up all my mess. I got into BMWs in 2016. I had a GTI. I sold it, and I got a BMW, a 320, a base model. I knew that there was M's, but it was out of my reach. Mm-hmm. It wasn't something I could buy at the time. And honestly, dude, like I was always a Honda guy. I was always a front wheel drive guy. I always thought, oh, fuck the other cars, they don't know shit.
Yeah.
And then I got into the Euro scene, the GTI, and I was like, oh shit, these cars are badass.
Yeah. And
then I got into the 320, and I was like, damn, okay, rear wheel drive, I ended up, I was heading out to the dealership to pick up a part, and I got T-boned on the 320. I didn't think it was going to be that bad, but the insurance company ended up totaling the car. At that time, I had just placed the order for the M4. So I had gone to the dealership, and again, I didn't really know much about BMWs or the M brand.
Got you.
But I knew I wanted, a custom M4. I saw an Austin yellow M4 on the freeway one day, and to me it looked like baby shit green.
Yeah.
So I was like, dude, I gotta have it. And I it was through a lot of work and sacrifice, just trying to clean up and make up for the time that I had fucked off. Dude, when I ordered the car, it honestly felt so surreal. I didn't know what anything was. I just knew if it was an option, I wanted it. So when I had the opportunity, like, I built it, and like I pretty much almost maxed out all the options with the car that I was getting. And so this was back in October when I placed the order for the car.
October 2016.
2017. 2017.
Okay.
And then I got the car, the 320 got totaled on December, like by January. I got hit in December, and the insurance took a whole month to total it out. So I had no car, and I had to get a car. And the M4 still wasn't. It wasn't nowhere near. They didn't tell me where it was. No one knew where it was. And I went to the dealership. I was gonna buy a 328 a daily, and I saw the car, drove it, did everything. Almost, was getting started with the paperwork, and I had seen the Secure Orange M3 on the showroom floor. And out of the nowhere, bro, like just about to sign the paperwork with the 328, I ended up taking the M3 from the showroom floor. So I bought that one, and knowing that I had the other one on the way.
Oh shit.
So I was like, all right, cool. And my excuse was like, well, if once I have it, I'll give it to my girl, whatever, and then we can just roll it together.
Oh shit.
But like, I got the car like towards the end of January, and then like a week later, 2 weeks later, the M4 comes in. So I had both M's, and I felt like.
So one was an M3 and one was an M4.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god.
So yeah, so they were both 2018. And dude, like, the plans were like,
oh shit.
I was like, in my head, I was like, all right, so either I go get a supercar or I go get two cars for the price of one.
Oh wow.
So like, I was on the fence for a Porsche and
GT3 RS or what?
Something like that. I wanted like a turbo. I'll be honest, again, just because I was so out of the scene, I didn't really know much about it. I just knew I wanted to get back in the scene. And like, now that I think about it, like, yeah, I could have had something different. I could have bought the Lambo at that price. It would have been a lot cheaper.
Yeah, for sure.
I would have paid $200,000 for that thing. Now it's like, dude, it's been so much more fun because I feel like, getting into the BMW scene just opened up my eyes to a broader, not just the audience, but more the brand. At that time I started watching more YouTube videos, so I was really like trying to see, what can I do to the car, even though it looked good and it looked fast, and I just knew that there was more that could be done. It went during the time when I was working hard and trying to clean up my mess. I was living with my sister in Duarte by Monrovia. And I was commuting from Duarte to the Valley, and I saw this M3 it was like on the freeway. It was dumped. It had some wheels. And I never got that image out of my head. I kept it, and I just started watching videos, YouTube videos, YouTubers, and like, I'll be honest, I couldn't get enough of the videos. I was watching Finding Nick, Life with KG. I was watching even shoe YouTubers, because that was kind of like the things I was trying to, like,
shoes and cars.
Shoes and cars.
Shoes and cars.
So just kind of from there, just started, I'll be honest, I didn't even have Instagram. And then I opened up my Instagram in 2018.
Oh wow, dude, that's crazy.
So not
2018.
2018, bro. By then, Instagram was already like maybe 10 years old.
Yeah, dude. That's not even the late train. That's like,
bro, like the other apps are already running, and I was just jumping in.
Oh wow. So let me ask you this before you get any further. You had the F80 and F82 at the same time. Brand new 2018s. How did you get yourself in that position to be able to afford both of those cars?
So honestly, we kind of go back to, I was just honestly working like a madman. I went ahead and so I went through a separation with my son's mom back in like early 2010s.
Okay.
And honestly, during that time, it was just kind of like a struggle. I kind of just left everything, kind of just took whatever clothes I had, and I felt like we just started to start all over again. I started working. I was working at a litigation company. I was a sales rep. I was doing customer service. I was, like, we would do like attorney service. So whatever attorneys needed for their court filings or their copy service to send out to other, firms, I would do that. and at the same time I was working also at a restaurant. So I was working like 2 jobs at the time just to kind of just get everything going. At which then I went ahead and I met my girlfriend. And honestly, after I went ahead and I separated from my son's mom, it honestly probably took me like 2 to 3 years to just feel comfortable to jump into another relationship. I felt like at the time I had just wasted too much time making the wrong choice, you know, just going on instinct, you know, and it just needed to just be more of a laid out plan, you know, and that was one of the things that kind of was tough to do too when I had my son. You know, it's kind of fun. It's hard to find a girl that, you know, that is gonna more than anything accept you with your +1, and then, you know, just to have the drive to be able to know that you want more and that you're not in that position at that moment. So it really kind of became one of those where, again, I was just really highly driven and motivated. I was working, you know, like I would work maybe like I was working more than 40 hours a week in my job, at my regular job, and then I was working at the restaurant as a server on like pretty much on the weekends and on, or from Thursday on, and then I would take open shifts. And again, it was just kind of like just a struggle, you know. I missed out on going out with the homies. I didn't go out drinking. I couldn't go to the bar.
Yeah.
I didn't go clubbing, you know, and I've always been kind of like the simple person, you know. I've never been over flashy with my clothes, you know. I've always been kind of like a white tee kind of guy, and just my jeans, you know. I think the shoes is the one thing.
That's the only thing, yeah.
But, you know, again, it just kind of goes with just having that mindset, you know. Like I just knew I had to do it, and within that time, it was just mostly about just trying to work and save, because it wasn't easy. I mean, I felt like it would have been a lot easier when I didn't have a kid.
Yeah.
Than when you have a kid, because now it's like there is no failing point.
Yeah.
Like for me, at least, it was just one of those things where I gotta do what I gotta do. And I met my girlfriend Christina, and she honestly had the same idea. She helped me to kind of have that free she helped me get the liberty to focus more on work, and at the same time she was doing her own thing. So we weren't like, you know, how can I say this? I think together we were a better team, because she was doing her own thing and also in the litigation business. She's a legal secretary. So, you know, it's definitely something different. Well, it was the same thing that I did, but different. And she had a little bit more knowledge about like how to finance money better.
Got you. Okay.
And I was better. Like, obviously I was really working hard. I wasn't doing anything. So I was just really paying my debts, and then I was just saving. So then we just started we just bought a property, and it all began with just one property. I say that in a sense because you have to kind of see it as an investment. I think in a sense that's kind of like where I've been able to get to right now, to where I guess if you have the mentality and the right mindset to get to that point, I feel like it honestly just takes a lot of hard work. And either you have the mentality to do it on your own, or you can get a little help from someone to help you get to that point. It's kind of tough. It's tough because I'll be honest, we, you know, when we got together, we both had to kind of give up a little bit, you know, to be to where we were at, you know. And that's kind of like where I felt like we have to sacrifice time and just sometimes friendships in order to make things happen. During this time, she owned a property, and she sold her property, I sold whatever I had, and then we kind of just merged. And then we bought our property, and then from there we just kind of we sold it. We saw an investment gain, so we sold it. And then from there, it just kind of started to get a little bit better. Can we pause for a second?
Yeah.
What's up, everybody? Thank you guys for listening to this podcast. Just want to give you a heads up, November 24th, our only sale of the year, Bull Friday, day after Thanksgiving, Bull Friday. The whole entire store is going to be on sale for 24 hours only. We only have one sale a year, and this is it. So don't miss out. And if you do, this all good, but you're just not going to get the deal.
I guess what really kind of just made this whole push was honestly just the drive. I knew that growing up, honestly, it wasn't an easy thing to do. I mean, I kind of we grew up with nothing, really. And once I went ahead and my son was born, I felt like if I was starting from nothing again. So it was a lot to kind of just take in. It was, at the time when we separated, I was just kind of like going back and forth. I was bouncing around from different homes. I didn't have a good steady home. And, this is also why I also needed to take the time to just really gather my thoughts and gather myself. I think you hit the nail right in the head when you said earlier, we can't help others unless we help ourselves. And I think in a sense that was one of the biggest things that really kind of just hit home. I needed to fail and hit the floor, hit rock bottom to pick myself up again. And again, just kind of going back to my parents, with their hard work and all that, it really put in a lot into perspective. And it was a lot of times that I would just get off from one job and go work at another, and still trying to be the best, trying to put a smile with the clients, and more than anything just put a smile to your face as you look at yourself to make sure that that you're doing the best that you can. To be honest with you, I was driven. I was a hard worker, but unless you have either the right discipline, mindset, or direction, or even guidance, it's going to be hard to accomplish anything. And I think that's where I found myself at the time. I knew I could work hard. I knew I was making money. I just needed a better investment. And throughout my whole life, growing up, after high school, I was very selfish, very self-centered. I was always about living the moment, living the time, and not focusing on saving for tomorrow. And I think that's one of the things that hit home right after I kind of just felt like having all these things to being on my own again. What I try to just kind of tell myself and try to tell others is that honestly, it's how you see things. It's what you're trying to accomplish. When you say you can't do it, you're not going to. And growing up, I knew I just wanted more. I knew I didn't want to grow up like, just the same way I was growing up.
Yeah, for sure.
And honestly, I think we all have the ability to do this. It's just easier said than done.
Yeah. And
for me, that was the thing, that it was easier. It seems easy, but it was a lot of sacrifice that went into it. And I mean, like I said, I bounced around a lot during that time, and it really kind of just put me in a situation where I knew I just had to focus on my number one person, and that was my son. After that, I met my girl Christy, and in a sense, she's wiser to more than what I am. And I think that's just the norm with men and women. I think sometimes some women are, have a better head on their shoulders.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's what a dude needs, someone to kind of just guide them in the right direction.
It's perspective, man. They see life in a totally different view.
Absolutely. I mean, I think one of the things that I do get fed, like that I feed off of, is the fact that, it's just been a constant belief. She's believed in me before. She's believed in me, even up to now. And it's just been, it's been tough. It's just, again, the sacrifices is what made the cars possible.
Yeah.
It wasn't, I didn't come from money or anything. It was just honestly just a sacrifice. Was I making good money? I was. I mean, at what I did as a litigation, it really kind of just, it's good money. And also I was making good money at the restaurant. So it was just more of that thing of like, what do I do with this money? Do I go to the club, buy drinks, or just, smoke it off, or buy clothes? So it's just more of the, like, what do you want to do? What do you want to accomplish? I think that's why this is a beautiful country. Like, you come with nothing and you can honestly make something. For me, honestly, the best way of making income, money, I saw it as when I was 14, 15. I went to middle school with my buddy Jonathan, and his dad owned properties, and he owned a hardware store. So people would come in and they would talk about properties. There was this person that would come in and talk about 300 units.
Oh my God.
That they own like 300 units. So they own buildings. So that was always like in my head, like properties, money. That's what's going to make money. But when I was living at the time, I was living in the present, spending money, enjoying the moment. As I got older and I lost everything and I lost my friends, quote unquote, you realize that you got to really focus and manage yourself correctly, because otherwise we're all capable of making it and reaching it. It's just how what highway we use to get there. And I think, obviously we see the people that have these cars or have these beautiful homes, and it's all like just perspective and like what your drive is. I feel like if I still want that Lambo,
yeah,
I feel like right now my BMW is a Civic.
Yeah.
But
well, it's definitely not.
But it's definitely it's how you see it, know. And even though I'm good, maybe it's part of me being selfish that wants more. Yeah. But I don't want just more for me. I want more for everyone that's around me.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why sometimes, like I'll be like, I won't try to be the big brother or I won't try to be like, the dad telling people what to do. But hey, man, if you ask me, I'll be honest.
For sure.
Or, I definitely won't try to sugarcoat much. Honestly, I've gone through so much. I've gone through back surgeries. I've had fusions. I've had everything. I've lost a part of myself that I had to I had to search and find again, because when I had my surgery, obviously this was a vehicle accident that I had. I had a fusion where they took my disc, and they basically just fused two of my vertebrae together. So basically, yeah, I had to go through two of those surgeries, and honestly, it was just one of those things that puts a lot into perspective. You basically have to learn how to. I guess you struggle. You struggle a lot, because for me, I was always very active. I played soccer. I played football. I played baseball. I was always more outgoing. I was never really the sideline person. That wasn't me. And just going through these things, you just have to find a different way to compensate that. And for me, I feel like the drive is just more than anything the thing that just. It's there. It's lingering. I mean, I'm not content where I'm at, because if I'm content, then I'm not gonna want more. So I don't know.
So let's talk about this Lambo. What is it? What's the picture that you have in your head?
So, all right. So as far as, I don't think it's the Lambo that I want to reach. I think it's just. Almost more than anything, like a trophy? Actually, no, it is a trophy. I mean, fuck it. Why am I gonna lie?
Yeah.
We grew up just seeing these posters on our walls. We grew up seeing everything.
For sure.
You kind of just saw that as the ultimate dream.
Yeah.
As the you know, the one that, all right, I made it.
That's the hood dream, dude.
Yeah, it is.
It is.
Unfortunately, now that, you know, I guess I would probably be in a different perspective of seeing things. I don't know if I would see the car as, all right, I made it, now I gotta mod it, you know. So ultimately, right now, as far as the Lambo would go, I would want to get like I would say the Huracan, but with the new Countach being out, or the new Scion, you just don't know what's gonna come out. I feel like I love the BMW brand, I really do, but I don't know if I could redo another M3 the same way or whatnot. I think in a sense maybe I need to step it up and do something else.
Got you.
A Lambo again would be a good thing, but if there's any other like options or people suggestions, I think I'd be down. I'd be up for it.
Yeah.
I think ultimately it's just now, once you get to a certain level of a car, you maybe want to get into another level.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's what it is for me now, or if it's definitely the love. There's nothing hidden about it. I love the way a car sounds, drives. I think it's also just kind of just being driven to the next step of your life.
Yeah, what's next?
Yeah. So, but definitely a Huracan. I would definitely love an Aventador. You know, the Aventador would be really sweet, but it's too much money to just to fork up for an Aventador.
Yeah, for sure.
So, but I've thought about Ferraris. Ferraris are awesome. You know, McLarens are great cars, but too expensive. They're not that reliable. So, I mean, I definitely want to get into a supercar just to see what the scene is all about.
Yeah.
I think in a sense we all want to get to that Lambo. I don't know. What about you?
I can picture it already, dude. It's going to be a Huracan. 2020 and up, for sure.
Yeah.
2020 and up. Red with all the windows blacked out, windshield blacked out, lowered on some wheels, definitely exhaust. Tune power wise, probably, you know, nothing super crazy.
I know.
700 for sure.
Well, unfortunately, I started watching Sheepy Race on YouTube videos.
That's a bad idea, dude.
So now I'm not just content with a Lambo. I'm like, okay, now I want a Lambo, and I want to take it to Sheepy Race.
Because then it's like, man, let me just hit up Alex real quick. Hey, can we do a? Yeah. I need a Lambo turbo kit for a Honda price. But yeah, you know, then you see that and you're just like, damn, this is like never ending.
It is, and that's why I don't know if I could see a car as just buying a car anymore. And that's, I think, what I meant. Like, now I see the car, I know what I want, but I would want to build it even more.
Yeah, for sure.
Especially once you kind of just open your eyes to everything else that's out there. I'm like, I kind of wish I didn't see it.
Well, what about the for the G80, dude? I mean, they're doing crazy shit with that car right now.
They are. My buddy just he's been teasing me. He just recently got his DME unlocked, and he's pushing 700 horsepower right now, just on stock.
So yours right now is a stock?
Right now my car's fully stock. As far as the power delivery,
yes.
All I have is just intakes, have a heat exchanger, and just a suspension done on it. So I want to do more. I want to do this almost the same thing I did to the M4. But even the M4, I still haven't really maxed out the power. I've been really conservative. I do like modding cars, but I don't like going too extreme.
Gotcha.
Like, I like to have that nice median where I can have the styling and I can have some of the power.
For sure.
So that's kind of like where I'm at, you know. Like, I'm not talking. Well, yeah, actually, I would want a 1500 horsepower Lambo, but the G80s, honestly, dude, they're so capable of 700 horsepower, and I think that's gonna be my next thing. I've been picking up a couple components to beef up the powertrain, more than anything, like the cooling aspect. I feel like every single time I tell this to someone is me always preaching, upgrade your cooling package, upgrade your cooling package.
And you went with the CSS?
Yeah, so I got the CSF heat exchanger. I got their manifold. I picked up I believe their oil cooler as well at some point. But honestly, the main thing that's holding me back is just the warranty, but I guess at some point I'm just going to say, fuck it, let's do it.
Yeah.
So right now, possibly today or tomorrow, I'm going to be driving this M4. And I think once I drive it, I'm going to be like, yo, I need my DME unlocked.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. You got to send that to Putin, huh?
Yeah. So the dude's in Finland right now. Femto.
Oh, okay. Oh, it's in Finland.
Yeah.
I thought it was in Russia.
He was in Russia, but with everything that happened, the dude moved out to Finland.
Got you. Okay.
So that's where he's still making, everyone's dreams possible.
Wow. Bro, I lucked out, dude.
I know.
By like a couple months.
I know.
I think it was mid 2020 where they started locking the ECUs.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't blame BMW as a business.
For sure.
You don't want to be paying for blown engines, just because someone wanted to tune it. So I feel like, honestly, it just they got smarter. They saw their profits, diminishing.
Oh yeah.
So they said, "Fuck it, let's lock these DMEs. These fools are gonna be accessing the power." And now it's like as soon as they hook up the Ethernet or to the ECUs to the car, once they hook up to the ECU from the car, they get all the reading. They get basically everything that you've done to the car. Whether you've tuned it, modded, the check engine light came on, your seatbelt wasn't on. They get everything. So now it's easier for them to be like, all right, well, you tuned it, now you're flagged.
Got you.
So your warranty is voided. And again, on these cars, the engines are 30,000. The transmissions on the X-Drive, I'm sure they're upwards of 10,000. So it really gets expensive too, like where I'm like, all right, do I want to mod it to where I have to start breaking things and then paying out of pocket, or but I guess I heard there's a way around it.
There's a way around everything. We're in California, bro.
I know.
You make something happen. So how is the power in the G80? Like, are you comfortable with it, or do you want more, or where are you at right now?
Honestly, I think the car has enough power. You can always put more power.
For sure. But
realistically, anything above 500 horsepower on the street, you're only asking for trouble.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm part of that too. You get so trigger easy, happy trigger with the gas, and before you know it, you look up, you look down, you're
150 quick.
Yeah. So it adds up. So honestly, I feel like, yes, it's enough power. Yes, you can do more, but where can we really put that power down unless it's at the track?
Yeah, or on the way back from a meet or something. 8 o'clock at night and the streets are opening up.
Hey man, you know
give it a little hit.
Give out the secret sauce.
Give it a little hit, dude. But I mean, you got that CSF intake.
So that's one of the main reasons why I got it. I'm
That
definitely.
shit is hard.
I know.
Damn, dude, I love that piece.
That's an art. That's a work of art
for sure. Like, definitely is.
I don't even want to put it on.
Yeah, right.
I just want to use it as paperweight.
Just look at it. Just look at it.
So yeah, no, it definitely. Again, it's just there's so much to do.
So then you get the ECU unlocked, and then you get that KLM single turbo kit.
Pretty much, pretty much. Get that standalone management system, and we're good to go.
Damn.
Yeah, no, honestly, there's still plenty of plans for the G80. You know, right now I feel like this is just the first phase. Right now that I just was able to put the wheels on and the hardware, I think that really kind of completed the build for like the first phase. I know there's a few other people that did it from one like in a couple of days. Yeah. But I like the feeling of just kind of just switching up the look, enjoying the mods for a few weeks and then just changing the look. But again, there's still so much more to really uncover on the car. You know, still got to do the power unlock. I might want to switch out the carbon fiber components in the front. Definitely, as far as wheels go, I mean, that gets really pricey. You can't be buying like wheels every other month, unless you have someone that's willing to buy your old stuff. Yeah. So it would just depend. And I know, like, depending if there's companies that want to work with me in the future, I would be down to listen to their ideas and see what they have in plan, or what they have in mind. Again, I guess for me it's more of an OEM look in a sense.
Gotcha.
I always like to go OEM plus, but who knows? Maybe Liberty Walk wants to send me a white body kit.
Damn.
Maybe KLM wants to send me a single turbo.
Imagine that, dude.
Yeah.
Liberty Walk.
Dude, that'd be sick.
That'd be wild, huh?
Yeah. So there's definitely a lot of ideas. But you've seen my M4 is just, I've had it for like that for most of the time, and I feel it's just timeless. It's a nice classic
for
look.
Sure. So you're pretty much done with that car?
No.
The M4?
Oh no. I actually just got it back from the service that I did, but now I'm considering possibly a new front carbon fiber components.
Oh, okay.
I definitely want to upgrade some of the CSF just came out with some auxiliary radiators.
Okay, gotcha.
So I got to do those too now. Well, I don't have to, but
yeah,
they're already there.
You have to. Yeah. So have you done anything power wise to that car, the M4?
So the M4 is on a stage 2 tune. It's basically got a conservative OTS, over the shelf tune. Mm-hmm. So I think it's comfortably pushing about 550, if not just a little bit less.
Oh, okay.
So, but it's a good, comfortable number. I mean, honestly, I want to push 700. I want to push more, but it kind of comes with more responsibilities, more things that you have to upgrade. And
the crank up, huh?
Exactly. Yeah. So I haven't done the crank up. So I'm still riding wild. I'm riding it dirty with the stock crank cup.
How much can the stock one handle?
Honestly, I've heard as long as you're under 650, okay, you're good. But you hear like wild stories of other people that have blown the crank up at stock.
Oh, really?
Horsepower.
Oh, wow.
But usually, again, it just kind of goes back to if it's true or not, or how did the person drive the car.
Yeah, for sure.
But honestly, I've had a good experience.
Yeah, that was actually my first car. My first BMW was the F82 M4, and all I had done to it was I didn't even have intakes, dude. Yeah, I just had downpipes, full exhaust, and a JB4. Yeah. And I loved it, dude. It was so sick.
It is, because you don't need, honestly, if you can give these cars an extra 100 horsepower, that's already fun enough as it is. Mm-hmm. If you want 700, it's because you're trying to make, you're trying to kick some ass out on the streets, yeah. But like, honestly, it kind of just goes down to like preference and style and performance.
Yeah, for sure.
So I'll be honest. I guess I don't do more because I know myself. If I have it, I'm gonna use it.
For sure.
So I'd rather not put myself in that predicament.
Yeah.
Being a pussy.
Yeah. I mean, that's a lot of power, dude.
It is, bro. And here's the thing about that. Again, it's not what I can do. It's about what the other person that's on the road with me, what can they do? Sometimes I don't want to go to drives or rallies with people that I don't know, or drivers that I don't know, because again, you just don't know their driving habits, their driving styles. I've had so much PTSD from like people being behind me, because even though we're both traveling at the same speed, are you able to stop at the same way that I'm able to stop?
For sure.
It's just not always that way. Yeah. So again, I guess that right there kind of stops me at certain times from really going all out, during a rally or whatnot. So
yeah, definitely, dude. Because when you go on those things, it's like your adrenaline's going, and you're ready to go, dude. And it's dangerous. It gets really dangerous.
Oh, it does. It does.
Especially not, like you're absolutely right. Not knowing the person next to you, their driving skills, or you having to test your skills, and just you're driving crazy and on the highway, and like, man, there's families on these highways.
Yeah.
And then just a big old blast of BMW cars just going 100 in and out of traffic. Like, it gets nuts, man.
It does. And not everybody's a driver. So you might have someone that's just driving because they have to drive, and and you have to respect them
for sure.
So again, it's just kind of like a balance. So again, I guess if I had the power, I would use it. So that's why I'm like, no. Just stop. Stock is good.
So which car is faster, the M3 or the M4?
Well, see, there are different types of fast. Because if I have the M4 on a stage 2 tune, I would say on the top end, the M4 is going to be quicker. But if I have to do it from a dig, then the M3 is quicker. For sure. So it's different types of speeds. I haven't really been able to do a side-by-side comparison, which I do want to do. But I think to be able to get that done, I think I would either need to do it at the track.
Gotcha.
Where I can really put both cars under the same road conditions, and just to feel like what car's going to feel better.
Yeah.
For me, I've always been a manual kind of guy. So I'm going to say the M4 always feels much better.
Gotcha.
It's much more fun. The G80 just has more technology, just has more goodies. It's a different, they're different machines at the end. But what I do like about the Gs now and the X-Drive is that they can keep up with the GTRs from a dig or with the Teslas. That was like the Achilles heels to the BMWs, that before, when we were at a line, every other car would be gone while we were still spinning our tires at the line.
For sure.
And now it's more of an even playing field. So it's going to be really nice to really put down the power. I got smoked so bad by Finding Nick. We had gone to Javier's, and we did a little pool. Dude, like, the GTRs are no joke. Like, when I was on third gear, we did like a quick 50 roll in the streets of Mexico.
Yeah.
And bro, like, he was just fucking with me.
Really?
Like, that thing was so much faster, but he also had it like at 800 horsepower.
Oh wow. Okay.
So that, it's definitely like David versus Goliath kind of deal. But I feel like, once you have something equivalent, it would definitely be something fun to put together to see what's faster.
Yeah, I've never ran a car that I felt would be kind of comparable. Except I ran a Huracan before. It was with headers and tuned, and we were pretty much like door to door. But anything else, like, I don't know, maybe it's a good thing that I haven't got the chance. I lined up with this car before, and it was a Hellcat, and we were at the line, and I was just waiting for the light. And I was ready to go, and then I see the guy lower his window, so then I lower mine, and the guy's like, "Hey, what's up, man? Remember I bought your wheels from you a long time ago?" And I'm like, "Oh shit, all right." And then
oh man.
But I don't know. I want to test it out, dude.
Yeah.
I want to see like what it matches up against.
Dude, the car is fast. Honestly, what you have on the M8, just as soon as the engine starts, that thing's a beast. It's just, and that's the thing now, like these cars with the twin turbos, with the right tune, the right timing, everything is just, these cars are just jets.
Yeah.
You're going to go ahead. All you need to do is just put wings, and these things just fly.
Yeah, for sure.
So it just kind of, again, with the now computers make everything so much faster. So it's just really curious. It's going to be really interesting to see where I take the G80 and what you do with the M8. Because I know for now, too, you haven't really, like opened up the M8, right?
No, I got it tuned probably in 2020. I got it tuned by Gintani, and it's been amazing since then.
Yeah.
But since then, I got the Venturi intakes.
Mm-hmm.
I got the CSF coolers. I think that's all the... And then I had the downpipes when I got it tuned.
Oh, nice.
But I might want to get exhaust too, but I'm just scared. I just don't want to retune it again because I'm like, man, I love it. It's perfect right now. And those cars, they don't have the strongest rod, so anything close to 900 is kind of like the red zone,
Absolutely. Yeah, and that's some of the things with the V8 engines. In order for you to really max out the power, you have to start building the engine internally.
Yeah.
And then you're talking 30, 40 grand.
Yeah, and I ain't trying to do that, dude. I'm chilling. I'm good right now. Where it's at right now, I'm pretty much satisfied with every aspect of the car.
I agree. And that's kind of like where I kind of just stop myself from adding more power, just because I'm already at a good amount of power band delivery. Anything else, honestly, is just, I mean, what I tell people is, if you want more power, you have to get into another car. Because then to build our car, to do all that horsepower, if you have to spend more than 20,000-30,000, you're in the wrong car.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure. And then I think about it, like, if I want power, I have the EG down there, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Speaking of Jerry, he built that motor for me.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, he put it together, and I wanted him to do it because I wanted a Jerry built motor.
I know. When I actually, during the time that I lost my Integra and I kind of stopped being in the car scene, Jerry was actually starting to build turbo cars. So he was already building all motor cars, and at that time he had his 92 or 93 Honda Accord. And dude, like he was already at the beginning point where he was already doing crazy things. So I haven't really had the privilege to go see him again or see what he's up to, but dude, like, honestly, I saw like the full potential back then.
For sure. I mean, he's a beast, man.
Yeah.
Still a beast. And that motor that he built for me, if I wanted to, 800 plus, easy.
Yeah,
easy. The only downfall is going to be the transmission. But it's a CSS block, and then 4-piston head. Wow. Fully built, drag cartel cams.
Wow.
Manly turbo tough rods, tram pistons, like the full motor.
See, and that's
fully built.
That's how you do a proper car. And that to me, it's like would be the proper way for me to want to push over almost 1,000 horsepower or something like that, because you got to get it built right. Otherwise, it's just going to be a money pit. You're going to be breaking things and
pulling it out and putting it back in. Yeah, no, for real.
Yeah. So that's kind of like where I stopped myself at that point. I know I'm not at that budget just yet. Just a few more years.
Yeah. So Danny, tell me about your YouTube channel, bro.
So I started my YouTube channel a few years ago. It's Daniel M Life. Basically, it was the whole concept was just more about showing more of my life. The M just kind of happened to make sense with my last name and the cars.
Really?
Yeah. So when I did my Instagram page, it wasn't to make it like, oh, Daniel has an M and then that's his life. It was more like my name with my last name and then my life.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So
that's interesting.
Yeah, I just kind of ended up working out that way, So now it's like, oh, M Life. It's just I would honestly just want to show more of what I do, like on an everyday basis. Because everyone does installs, everybody does, like car meets. Even I'm guilty of doing car meets, but sometimes I just want to do a little bit more, a little different to it, or just spend more time. But you can only reinvent the wheel so many times.
For sure. Before
you kind of just try to, see, all right, maybe I should just give them an insight into what I do. I feel like it's every day is different, but the same. I'm privileged enough to be able to work on amazing cars and meet all these great people from different walks of life. And honestly, it's amazing. I think that's one of the things that I love more about the car scene now than the cars itself. It's just the people, the personalities that you meet. You know, not everyone is gonna, know exactly what you're talking about, but then that's what makes it special, because then you can just geek out about talking your whole life away about the cars, what you love about them, what's good, what you don't recommend, and it's a lot of fun. We definitely get to go to events and meet people that we probably don't know in person, but we followed their page, their builds, and it just really adds more to the car scene, and that's kind of like what I want to share. But I don't know if the viewers kind of want to see that.
Yeah, that's kind of that's the thing that you go through with starting a YouTube channel, or you always have to think about, like, was this interesting?
Yeah. But
then sometimes I don't know if that's the best way to look at it, because you have to think about it like you're one of 8 billion people.
Exactly.
So your universe, your experience is 100% completely unique.
Mm-hmm.
Now, whether you'll do things that others will relate with, and that might be a reason that they jump on, but like, you're you. Nobody else is you. Nobody can tell your story like you. And that's what people, at least that's what I look for,
right,
as far as content. Because, I mean, do I have so much stuff going on in my day? Like, if I'm going to sit down and watch somebody's content, the least that I want is it to be who they are. I don't want to watch a character.
Yeah.
You get what I mean?
Absolutely.
And when I meet these people in person, I want to meet who that person is that they're displaying on their content, because that's the reason that I'm attracted to them,
right?
Because of what they're showing me.
Yeah.
And it's happened so many times where I will meet somebody and I'm just like, nah, I don't really vibe with you in person.
Right.
Or I'll meet somebody and then I'll be like, man, you should do more of this online, because this is way more interesting than the person that you're trying to portray.
Absolutely.
And if you don't need to do content for a business or to make money or anything like that, like, you're kind of in a unique position where you can do this as a hobby, and you can do this however you want to do it.
Yeah.
And that's one way I feel about the podcast, is like, there are certain things that I can do in this podcast that would make it more acceptable to a larger audience.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
But I want the audience that is interested in what I'm interested, the topics that I talk about, the way I navigate conversations. So I'm already, the ball's already rolling with Downstar. Like, that takes care of the finances. I need to have some things that are fulfilling to me,
right,
to my creativity. And I can't worry about if people are going to like it, if it's too long, if we don't have any segments in here, which is like, oh, okay, this is the segment. What's your first car that you ever drove, or, stuff like that. No, dude, like, I want to sit down with people and talk to people. And whether 10 people or 10,000 people watch this podcast, that's not going to change this conversation that we had.
Right.
This conversation is done once we finish it. And whether nobody sees it, we still had it. It still happened.
No, absolutely. And that's the beauty of it. Honestly, I think, that's where most of the stuff gets kind of missed. We definitely don't have that transparency. And you're right. I don't want to put a character out there. It's not what I want to do. I don't want to put someone fake. I'd rather just kind of put the real things, the real stuff out there. And I think you kind of see it with my editing. It's still very raw. And it's kind of like one of the things that I like about, just being more natural. Again, you can't fake natural. Natural will always just kind of will shine no matter what.
For sure.
So I feel like I do like who you see on camera is kind of like who I am. That's why, like you told me, don't apologize. It's just kind of like how I am. It's just my own personality, and I'll definitely, like, for me, I've always been one of those where I try to please everyone, you know, and not please them just because I'm just trying to get, you know, basically I'm trying to be accepted, but it's just been the way I've always been. You know, I've always liked to make people feel good. You know, I'm not one of those that I don't need to make someone feel bad to make myself feel good.
For sure.
And that's like one of the things I feed off the most, is just kind of like helping someone get to what they want to do. And I feel like at that point, you know, we definitely can, you know, just put our best personas out there so that people can see. And I truly, for me, whoever knows me, they know that who I am on behind the screen is who I am when you see me.
Yeah.
And I try to keep it that way. I don't think of myself as any better than anyone else. I feel like if we're all equal,
yeah,
we all have different talents. You know, I might suck at
for sure.
yeah, some things, but overall, for me, it's just the interaction.
So what do you find are some of your challenges with your YouTube channel?
I think it's just me, honestly. I really feel like if I put the right amount of time to learning how to edit these videos a little bit quicker and better,
gotcha,
I think that would just be the ticket to, you know, to not just not understanding what the people want to see, but understanding how to be a little bit more consistent.
Gotcha.
And I think that's where my biggest lack is right now, just the consistency. Because I have the want, I have the drive, I have the equipment. Then I just get all those things together, and then I just don't put out the product.
For sure. Well, you do have discipline, because you display your discipline in so many other ways.
I do.
So there's that thing.
I think if I put that discipline to that, I think it would be I would find more success on YouTube. Right now, it's that lack of discipline, and I know it. Every single time I go to sleep, I'm like, fuck, I should have just done better.
Have you pinpointed it, like why you feel like that, like that you can't turn the discipline on?
Yeah, absolutely. It's sometimes it's just comfort, you know. Sometimes I'll almost every day I'll have something to do on a car, you know, whether it's my car or someone else's car, but you know, like that kind of just tends to take time away. And that's my excuse. That's gonna be, I'll be honest. Yeah. I think if I didn't give myself or allowed myself to have that excuse, I would definitely be more on, you know, like more on top of my own videos and stuff like that. But you know, when you preach something but you don't do it,
for sure.
And that's where I'm kind of like I find myself at times. And you know, I think owning up to it right now, it's better than to try to pretend that it's not what I do. It's definitely something that I'm trying to tell my son not to do.
Yeah.
But overall, I feel like right now I'm hitting the wall where I see where this is. I see where I'm missing out on, and I see where I need to be.
Yeah.
And that in itself is getting me upset at myself, but building that drive. I think once I hit that drive, I'm just gonna go ahead and boom, just start putting everything to work. And that's always been a thing that I've tried to change, you know, because I can accomplish certain things, and as we all can. But, you know, again, we just kind of come back to, well, if I didn't feel like if I needed a rest or needed to just get that, you know, go to sleep at this time or do something, you know, then I could focus a little bit better with my time.
Yeah, I feel you, bro. And I'm in the same boat as you. Like, I've been wanting to get back into podcasting so much, but it's just me making excuses of the reasons why I'm not doing it. And, you know, I get down to the the actual truth of it is that it's a lot of work, and I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
That's basically it. I love having the conversations, but after this is another 3 hours at least of editing, 3 camera setup, and then promoting it. And it's like, damn, it's a lot of work. But then, like, I feel like I have something to offer.
Yeah.
And I feel, because people have told me that they enjoy the conversations. So, like, it's there. People love what you do. People tell you every time we go to the meets, people will tell you, and so even if the work that you're putting out there isn't like to the quality that you would like it at, like, people are still enjoying that. So you just got to just do it.
And that's ultimately what it really comes down to. I just have to get out of my shell and just do it, because you're right. Right now, it's not about quality. It's more about just putting out the consistency. And I think that's the secret to almost anything. If you're consistent in what you really love doing, it's going to happen. And I love making videos. I hate doing the legwork that goes with it. And I like, part of me wants to just have fun and not put in the work.
That's it. That's what it comes down to.
And it's rather unfortunate sometimes. Like, again, I'll put myself in a position where I'll overload my plate with so many things, and this is where sometimes wanting to do everything for everyone is not always a good thing.
Yeah.
And if I do something for everybody, that means I'm not doing something for myself or for someone else. And that's the trade-off. That's kind of like the trade-off that you have to fight. And there's all these people that they don't put out those excuses. I was just watching one of Nick's videos this morning, and a few weeks ago, he went on a spree where he was uploading every day. It's like, all right, so what's so different? How come he can do it and I can't?
For sure.
And for me, it feels like, all right, I need to kick myself in the ass.
Yeah.
I need to kick my own ass and just, get right back to it.
That's it. That's all you got to do.
Yeah.
And, you use these people as like your fuel.
Yeah. Yeah. No, and these are the people that I'm gonna say I respect. As a person, as for what they do, for what they've been able to accomplish. I'm not one of those that hates on people for being successful.
For sure.
I'm one of those where I'm like, whoa, they're doing something right, and I want to make sure that I know what they're doing so I can do the same thing. And ultimately, I guess, but I'm gonna start putting out these videos. I have so many videos to just share with everyone. It could just be from the trips that we've taken to Orlando, New York.
Yeah.
It could be the car meets that we've attended to. And again, just even the normal drives or the installs that we've done here. So there's definitely a lot of videos that are going to be coming out very soon. I might just even do what Nick did, just pump out videos every day.
Once you get into it,
yeah,
it's just it becomes part of your everyday life.
It is. And this is where honestly I get mad at myself. I get very upset at myself when I don't do stuff, and I feel like right now I've been putting off the channel more than what I should. One of the things that I think I talked about was working less physically and working more, in a sense, kind of like what we're doing right now. For me, I would love to also just kind of invite people over, talk about their cars, take it for a drive, and if they want to share a little bit more, then that would be fun. But then people wouldn't watch it. They want to see the drifting, the burnouts.
Bro, there's somebody for everybody.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's all it is. There's somebody for everybody.
Oh, absolutely.
And when you put out a video and it gets 3,000 views, and then you look at somebody else that's doing that kind of stuff and they get 3 million views, bro, that's still 3,000 people that saw what you did, that were interested in what you were doing and interested in what you created.
No, absolutely.
Like, there's 3 million people watching the Kardashians, Like, that doesn't mean that it's quality. that just means that they're creating something that is like whatever. It's attractive to a larger audience, but is that what you want? Do you want all these like these idiots in your comments or people watching? You know, sometimes I'll watch like huge like big channels and I'm like, man, dude, this is a bunch of idiots in here, bro. I'd rather have it cut down and just have like, you know, a few thousand real people watching this shit. Like that's where we get kind of like intimidated by numbers.
You're right. You're right. You know, it's funny because you hit a very good like topic that I feel like sometimes, you know, it's like, whoa, the quality is not the best, or you know, or what they're doing isn't always the best, but they're doing it, and that's the difference. And that's the thing where again, it's like, I guess I'm my own hindrance.
You never know that if what you were doing wouldn't take off.
No, absolutely, and that's why, in a sense, it's. And I think this should go for everybody. Just do it. Just don't be afraid, you know, because when you're afraid, you hold yourself back.
For sure.
You know, when you start second guessing yourself, that's when things go wrong.
You got to do it your way, bro, because say if it does pop off and you started doing it some other way and then it pops off, now you got to continue doing it the other way that you weren't even happy with doing it in the first place. You were just doing it just to get views.
I think that's kind of like where maybe perhaps I'm still figuring out my identity of the channel.
Got you.
You know, I don't want to, again, it's like most of the stuff that I do, it's already being done, but I want to do it differently. I want to do it with like the Daniel M. Life kind of twist to it, you know? So I'm still trying to figure that out. I know that obviously I need to put in more work, and I think with anything, as long as we take the leap of faith, something's going to happen. You're either going to learn how to do it the wrong way, or you're going to learn how to do it the right way after you do it the wrong way a few other times.
You see somebody like a TJ Hunt, right? TJ Hunt has such an amazing following because people have seen him grow from just a kid in his garage working on an FRS to arguably one of the biggest automotive influencers out there.
Absolutely.
And they've been following him his whole journey. They've been following him when he's trying to figure out how to work on cars, putting rep parts on, to now having his own multiple businesses, creating his own products. And they've seen his evolution.
Absolutely.
You know, you're on that level as well. You're evolving. So you have to evolve in real time, and people are going to be a part of it, and they're going to support Daniel M. Life wherever you're in the future because they fuck with you. If your videos aren't the best quality, if it's not the best editing or what have you, it doesn't matter. All it is we need content, bro. Feed us. We need something to support you with.
Yeah.
How am I gonna buy something from you when you don't have nothing to sell? You know, you need to sell yourself, bro, and you need to have content up there at all times, because if you want to show your life, like, you have to show your life. You can't show it polished all the time.
And see, that's where I was thinking, you know, like, it would be nicer just not to show the polished part, which is the cars, the being worked on. How about showing behind the scenes, you know, like everybody else? And I feel like that's going to be the part that I'm going to gravitate to the most. And once I get my head out of my ass and start putting all this to work, it's what I want to show. And that's definitely what I'm trying to capture. I'm not just trying to capture the car. I'm trying to capture the whole the story behind it, and I guess to show my own perspective of what we can do.
This is your life, bro. You're showing your life, everything that goes on in between us.
Yeah.
Some days you're gonna have a good day.
Yeah.
Some days you're gonna have a bad day.
Yeah.
But are you gonna have enough balls to put your bad day out there, to put your mistakes out there?
Absolutely.
So everybody else can see and judge it. Like, are you gonna want to be able to do that, like, to show your most authentic self?
Well, unfortunately, you know, when we put ourselves out there on YouTube, we kind of put ourselves to be ridiculed. So we have to know that when we put ourselves out there, we have to learn how to take the good and the bad.
For sure.
Definitely there's always been comments, you know, like, oh, you're soft spoken, you need to speak up, but your camera shakes too much. But you gotta just take those as good constructive criticisms. Otherwise, if you take it too personal, as a personal attack, you're just gonna get mad.
Why would somebody say that your camera's shaky if it's not shaky?
Exactly.
Why would someone say that you're soft spoken if they didn't have a problem hearing you?
Yeah.
You know, you take all that into consideration.
Of course. And that's kind of like where you have to learn how to not, you have to learn how to just put yourself to be, you know, as a guinea pig for just basically as the one person who's gonna like be on the hot seat.
Yeah.
So if you're okay with that, and I think that's where I've just gotten to the point where that's where I put myself, and I have to just go with it. I have to roll with it and make the best out of it.
Yeah. So
I feel like at that point, it's always about putting your best foot forward. And with that being said, I don't want to put this character either. So I want to make sure that you're right. You got to put the good with the bad, because then people will be like, yeah, that happened to me too.
Yeah, and you got to think too, like if this person leaving this comment, if this is their conclusion that they came from whatever you're giving them,
Mm-hmm.
that's all they have to go off of.
Yeah.
If they really knew you, if they really knew what kind of person you were, then they would have more tools to be able to come up with a better conclusion.
Absolutely.
But that's all that you give them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so with me personally, like I would look back at some times where, like, you know, we weren't favored the best, and I have to look back like, man, what was I putting out there for them to judge me on?
Right.
And maybe they did come to the right conclusion. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And it was on me that I wasn't putting out the message in the best way, so it's received by the masses.
Yeah. No, you're right. It just, and that's the thing. It's a beautiful thing, but it's kind of like one of those things like, yeah, damn, because everyone's going to interpret things differently.
Mm-hmm.
Not everyone will interpret the things that you and I will understand it at that moment, you know, and it's just about, just fuck it, just put it out there.
Whatever, bro. They haven't lived your life.
Yeah.
You know, they haven't lived the life experiences that you have.
Oh, exactly.
You know, when somebody will say something to me and I'll look at their page and they're just like from some little town in the middle of nowhere, I'm like, bro, I get it.
Yeah.
You have no way of even judging the things that I'm talking about,
Mm-hmm.
because you've never even experienced it.
Yeah.
So how can I be mad at you for that?
You know, like some people get upset about that, and you know, when I first got into Instagram, it kind of bothered me, you know, like the hate. But in a sense, it's like with my channel or with my cars or with my Instagram page, it's not like a flex, like, hey, I'm gonna put it in your face, I did it and you can't do it.
Yeah.
I do it because, hey man, I'm just a Mexican kid who did it. If a Mexican kid who did it, who went through all these challenges to be able to be here, bro, if you're born here and you have all these tools, you should be more than me.
For sure.
You know, you and that's kind of like how I see things. I want to make it inspirational. I'm not trying to make it like, hey, hate on me or look at me, you know, and that's overall what I really want people to know. You know, I don't want it to feel like, hey, got this Rolex, look at it. You know, it's not about that. I'm more about like, hey man, I why don't you get to know me? You know, come hang out, let's talk. You know, and then, you know, then we can really just decide who we really are, or you can, you know.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter. However they feel about you,
No.
or whatever they think.
Absolutely not. I mean, I'll be part of it. Yes, it does, because, you know, and then this is where, if I'm gonna be doing this, I'm gonna need people to support me.
For sure.
They're gonna have to, you know, and I have to learn how to either say fuck it, you're gonna like me for who I am, or fuck it, you're just not. And it's a give and take. You know, you like you said, you gotta feed them what they want, and sometimes what they want is just to see the raw you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just no cameras, no makeup, fuck the bullshit, just kind of just the raw personality.
For sure.
And I think right now that was just me.
Yeah, that's it. Now you, but you definitely have something, Danny. You definitely do, and people enjoy it. They enjoy what you do.
Oh, thank you.
You've helped out so many people in this community. You know, us for sure. You know, I credit like you helping us grow in the BMW community a lot, dude.
Wow.
Because if it wasn't for you, it would have definitely taken a lot longer.
Wow. Wow. Thank you. That means a lot.
For sure, bro. And I appreciate that so much. And, you know, I appreciate our friendship that we have.
Likewise.
And just traveling and the memories that we've already made.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, honestly, for me, it's been a huge honor and a huge privilege to get to know you as a friend, to be able to travel, be a part of, you know, like be just a small part of the Downstar, you know, like brand that you've built. It's amazing. And honestly, just getting to know you these past few months have really kind of pushed me to just be more than, you know, be more outspoken, be more outgoing, be more, you know, just be doing more basically. And that is basically what you need to do if you want to be successful.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, you know, there's a lot of people who are fun at the clubs and fun doing other things, but you gotta kind of associate yourself with people that you look up to and that you want to, you know, you admire and mimic and grow with. And I feel like, again, just since the moment I met you, you know, when I first walked in here, it was like you were an amazing person, and I was already kind of like just gravitated to the brand and Gabe and the whole Downstar team with Brandy. It's just amazing what you have here. And again, just to be able to show it to my followers, my viewers, for me, again, it's just kind of like showing them something that I love. You know, that this is, to me, it's not just the hardware. It's kind of like the whole Downstar
For
team,
sure.
the family and not family.
Yeah. But yeah, dude, hell yeah, man. We've had a lot of good times, dude. And that's like, if this is what people want to see.
Yeah.
People want to see this. Like the things that they see online or what have you, like that's not even 1% of what we do, you know? And like all of this stuff that we do, I mean, it's interesting to me.
Oh, no, believe me. For me, it is too. I love to just listen to everyone's stories, because everyone's stories is not always the same. Everybody has stories with scars or stories with happiness or sadness. And, you know, it's beautiful just to get that melting pot. And I think that when everybody goes to my house, to the garage, I don't just work on their cars. I actually get to meet the person and see who they are. And that to me means a lot. You know, it means a lot more than the money and whatnot. It's nice to have it. Yeah. It gets you nice things, but overall, like, honestly, if you can leave with a good experience of someone or being treated like above and beyond, it's unforgettable.
Yeah, dude. It just makes you feel good. Yeah. You know, it makes you feel good. And
it does.
There's so much. Life is hard, bro. There's so much in this life that'll make you not feel good.
Absolutely.
So if you can give that to somebody, like, why wouldn't you?
Yeah. And like I said, for me, I've been blessed enough to, you know, go through the things that I've gone through, because it's made me who I am. You know, I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, I hate this part of my life. I think it's just been wonderful. You know,
for sure.
It's made me realize, appreciate, learn, and I'm still learning and growing. And it's just life. You know, you just got to take it and make it the best. And
live life.
Yeah, absolutely.
Live life.
That's why we had breakfast this morning.
I told you, just fucking live life, Danny. Oh, hell yeah, bro. Well, I'm excited, man. I hope that you get everything that you want, you know?
Well, thank you.
Yeah, I know you will. If you put that work in, I know you will.
Thank you. I definitely want to make sure to, you know, again, I hope I come back next time around and hopefully just give you guys a little bit more insight. Obviously, you guys kind of found out I wasn't born here. I lost my shoe.
I lost it. Well, yeah, dude. That's why combos like this are important, man, because there's a lot of things that people didn't know about you that you've talked about in this, and it'll give them more perspective now.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think that's the thing that, you know, like, makes me appreciate not just the things, but the people. And again, it's I don't leave when people leave my house. It's not the impression of the car that always leaves me. It's always the impression of the person.
For sure.
So if I get like good vibes, good everything, honestly, I'll feel like that person is like, it's an A+ in my book.
For sure.
Even though their cars might be dirty.
Nah,
just kidding.
So we'll have a so we're gonna have a pretty fire vlog coming up soon when we go to SEMA.
Oh, I know. Dude, I'm ready for that.
What's that? Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Mm-hmm. That's 3 days.
I know. And actually,
all day too.
This whole year, honestly, for me has been amazing. You know, this was like the year that, you know, like we have really gotten a chance to really get to know each other. Downstar, the whole car scene, everything's been crazier. It's been blowing up more. And I'm just honestly looking forward to the next chapter, the next day, because like I said, it's very interesting, and to be able to see through your eyes, because Downstar has been in the car industry for a long time. I mean, you've been to Japan, you've been all over the world pretty much, so you've seen it all, and I'm just barely getting a peek, you know, to the whole scene. So dude, this is gonna be amazing. Again, I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, and I hope, you know, we get to do this again.
Dude, we're gonna have a blast, bro. SEMA's gonna be awesome. Only things, we're just gonna be walking a lot.
I know.
And not sleeping much.
Hey, I'm down for that.
On these streets, bro.
I just need some coffee.
More coffee, dude. Hell yeah.
You saw it. I finished my coffee, and I can still go for another hour.
Hell yeah, Danny. So before we get out of here, dude, people want to follow you and watch your channel. Where can they follow you at?
So you guys can follow me on Instagram, YouTube, and on TikTok at Daniel M Life. I'm definitely gonna be posting a lot more. I have so much content I need to get out. My phone is getting overloaded, so I need to delete some of the videos and pictures. So I'll definitely be getting to that. You guys follow me there. Follow me on Instagram. That's where you guys will be able to get more of my daily content. You guys will know where I'm at. You guys will know what I'm doing, whose car I'm working on, or what products I'm looking at, you know. And again, it is just more of an insight to my life, not just the cars. So, you know, just drop a comment. Let me know where you guys feel like I could improve, or, you know, what you guys want to see more in the future, the near future. And hoping that 2024 is honestly kicks off even better than this year.
It's gonna be a great time, dude.
Yeah, definitely. So
hell yeah, Danny, thank you for your time, bro, and thank you guys all for watching. This is Downtime with Downstar, and we out. Peace.